How's it going? Hope you're having a hell of a morning. Got something real cool for you today. I've got the brand new MCDSP Channel G console. This is a new update to an old classic, probably one of the best plugins MCDSP's ever done. I love it on drums, and it came out a number of years ago, and everyone's kind of like, yeah, it's a really cool plugin, but it's looking a little long in the teeth. But the sound is what counts. I'm using this on my drums here and a little bit on the guitars. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here, because this ain't half bad. Oh, hell yeah. Let's get into it. All right, so yeah, the MCDSP Channel G console. Check this bad boy out. This is what we got here. It is very sleek and utilitarian, and it does the thing, and it does it really freaking well. I love channel strip plugins because they're just so versatile. A number of manufacturers have been putting them out over the years, and I'm always happy to put them on the show. This one's not the cheapest option by any stretch of the imagination. It's $149 for the VST, and they've also got Pro Tools support, whatever the hell plugin format that is for you guys out there who are insisting on using Pro Tools. What is it, AAX or something like that? I don't fucking know. Anyway, this is set up to emulate a rack unit and whatnot. And what we got here is we have a dynamic section, and then we've got an EQ section as well. Even more is we've got different types of modes. We've got music, we've got post, then we got these types. We got type E, G, and an A. E and G are after SSL type EQs, N is a Neve, and A is for API. So that's pretty cool. I don't know what they've done. They've sampled various boards or whatnot, but the dynamic section, this is where it gets really freaking cool. I'm using this on my drums here. I'm using this on the close mics. I'm also doing some parallel compression, and I'm just using this plugin. That's it. I'm going a little bit out of the box for like a bus compressor, because that's just kind of one of my favorite things. I've got a hardware bus compressor I absolutely love, but for the actual, down nitty gritty actual processing there, I'm using the Channel G console, and actually I'm going to drop one in on the snare bottom as well, but I'm going to show you how it all kind of fits together. So that is a fat fucking snare, I will say that. Damn. Okay, so I've got a couple of things going on here. As you can see, I've got my snares here, and I've got 3 channels here. Let's turn off all the processing here. We'll take you right through it here. Let's turn off the reverb here for a minute. Now, I stole this technique from Andy Wallace in one of his classes there a while back, and I thought it was really cool. So what we're going to do here is we're going to process the top snare mic a couple of different ways, and then the bottom snare mic, and then we're going to have them all grouped into a snare folder, and that's when we're going to do the compression and EQ. But for right now, we're just going to address the individual mics and gate them and do a couple of other cool things. So crank this on. And just turn this on. That is a clean fucking gate. Like, wow. And we can play with the range here. We've got attack and release controls. We can slow down the attack on this if we want to take the bite out of the snare. And we can lower the ratio as well. Hold how long it's going to stay open, and then a release control. So we can get fairly aggressive, or we can get fairly non-aggressive, really depending on what we want. I was really happy with how I had it set. I love the fast attack, and the range control, controls the amount of bleed we're taking out. This is the thing. I mean, I've been to recording seminars, and they've said, get the MCDSP plugin for your snares, because it does the thing. It does it really, really well. It's just the old interface kind of sucked. They've really updated it. It's very clean. One thing I love about this is it's resizable as well. We can make it as big as we want. That's fantastic. And then we've got this plots control, so we can see what exactly is going on with our gate. Check this out. Where's the damn threshold? There we go. You can see how much we're chopping out. Is this the hold, or is that the ratio? Yeah. That's really cool right there. And then we've got a couple extra plots here. This is our EQ plot here. We're not using the EQ on this channel, though. We're go here, we get can see the gain reduction going on, and then we've got a third plot here, shows just how the gate's stomping down. That's cool. And then this shows, I think this is exactly where the signal path is going and whatnot. And we do have a couple of extra controls on how to change that around. Oh, look at that. So, oh, that's for the side. Is that for the side chain for compressor limiter for the EQ? I think that's how that's working. I could be wrong, but I'd say look it up in the manual. Obviously, this is a key. So, oh, okay, filter. Yeah, we can bring in the side chain this way. We can just have it in like so and then like so. The F button they said is for radio buttons. I have no idea what the hell that is. I looked at the manual. It said something about radio control. Beats me, man. I think the documentation needs to be a little bit clearer on there. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm just throwing the knobs in and it sounds great. So I'm really happy with what I'm getting. So that's top snare mic. Now, if I go to the second snare mic, I've got something a little bit different here. I stole this idea from Simon Phillips, actually. He uses like an SBL transient designer and just kills the attack on a snare and then just cranks up the sustain. I want to see if I could do something similar here, and that's exactly what I got going on. If we look at the plots here, okay, shrink that down just a little bit. And again, what I've done here is I've cranked up the sustain. I'm going to take the EQ out for a minute as well, just to show what's going on here. Here we go. We're just going to swap that out for a minute. So what I'm doing here is I'm compressing really freaking hard. You can see the amount of gain reduction going on here. I just want to kill the attack on that snare. Just bring up that sustain. We got some various knee controls here as well. And that'll mess with your attack controls too. So you got to be careful when you're playing with those knees. We can see what the knee is doing here on the plots. How hard it leans in. And we want a pretty hard knee attack here. And I'm just crushing the living crap out of the snare. And then I'm throwing a little bit of EQ on it to take that hi-hat bleed out. And cymbal bleed. So what I'm doing, I just want to add some body to the snare just with these two mics right here. So it just adds a little bit of sustain, maybe a little bit of clang, that kind of thing. And then we got our bottom snare mic right here, and that's just going to the channel here as well. That might use just a tiny bit of EQ here, but then again, maybe not. Maybe just a little gate. Let's see what we get. Yeah, that might work. Let's just gate that out a little bit. Let's bring the threshold down on that compressor, on that limiter, sorry. No, that's compressor. Let's just bring the threat. Yeah. Okay. So got lost here. Thought I was looking at the gate here. No, I'm looking at the compressor. This is a compressor section here. This is the gate. Then we got some high pass and low pass detectors as well. So you can filter what's actually going into the compressor. That's very handy as well. I don't really need it so much on this mix, but it's nice to have. I like the versatility of this thing because it really does do the thing in quite well. So we're just going to play with the gate controls here. Maybe a little more release because we want a little more snap on that snare. Take it in and out. This is really well recorded though, so just want to kind of keep the kick drum out and that kind of thing. So it's a little spanky, so let's take a listen here. There's all our three mics, and we're just going to arrange them. So next up, we're using a little bit of compression and EQ on the grouped snare mics, and this works out really well as well. Go to EQ here, take it in. Take a look on the plot so you can see what's going on. Now, this is what's great about EQing is we can grab these, and we don't have to mess with these controls all that much. Because it corresponds here, your frequency and your gain. We cannot do a mouse wheel adjustment on the Q band. I hope they address that in a coming update because that would just make life a lot easier to be able to adjust the bandwidth, on the fly without actually having to reach up to these controls up here because it is a bit of a pain in the ass, especially when you grab the wrong one like I just did. So if we could get a mouse wheel adjustment to bandwidth, that's cool. The EQ controls are there, but I much prefer to do it right on the graph because we can just get exactly where I'm headed. We can find a horrible snare tone. Maybe a little less top. Pretty cool. And we go back in the dynamics section. Again, we've just got a little bit of compression going on here. We'll take a look at the plots. Yeah, about 3 dBs of compression here. We're at like a 4.75 ratio. Here's the threshold. We'll bring that back a little. Yeah, we can play with the knee as well, see what we get. That's kind of nice right there. Again, we don't need a crap ton of compression here because we're kind of already compressing the living snot out of that other one to really just bring out the sustain on the drums. So it's not doing all that much, and that's fine. And then we go to the plots again. We'll see where we are here. If we oh, look at that. Yeah, this Dyne Pre button here. This is obviously changing where the EQ and the compressor are going. So I guess we're EQ, gate, and then compressor limiter. And if we change this up, we're EQ, gate, compressor limiter, then EQ. It's a subtle shift, but it's there. Personally, I've always been one to put the EQ first and then the compressors. So I EQ into compression and then I can push things a little bit harder. That's kind of one of my secrets anyway. That's one thing I love doing. I do it here in the analog realm all the time. So that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm just going to push that EQ a little bit harder. Let's get the plots back up. Let's see what we can do here. Maybe I can bring this high mids in. Nah, it's a little too much cymbal snap. Bring this back a bit. A little bit of thump there. Yep. Okay. Let's go back to the compressor. Maybe hit it a little harder now. Yeah, it's hitting pretty hard now. But hear how little hi-hat bleed we're getting there, even with the sustain mic in. That gate is a champ. That really works very well. Okay. Let's try that with, say, the overheads. And of course, yeah, we've got room mics here. Channel G on that as well. Now, when I'm doing my normal drum mixes and whatnot, I'm usually going out into the analog realm into a pair of 1176s on the drum room, but I find this is actually doing a fantastic job as well. Like, again, we're getting fairly aggressive, really, really high ratio here. You know, very fast attack, very fast release. Just really trying to bring out the sustain on those room mics. Don't think we got much EQ going on. Let's take a look at the plots. No EQ at all. Doesn't really need it. I mean, like, we can add like, you know, a high pass filter or something like that. Take a little bit of the bottom out. That's very powerful. You got a low pass here as well in case we want to take a little extra zing out. We try. I don't think much of the EQ is going to do much because we're not really doing much here right now. But yeah, we can even change this to notch filters. Something's really annoying you. That's pretty cool. Like, check that out on the plots one more time here. Let's get a bigger view of that EQ. I like that. So this is great. If you got a really annoying frequency that's bugging the living shit out of you, that might work really good on cabinet impulses. Actually, is a couple of these just to notch them out completely. I think that's really awesome. That's a really nice touch. I've never actually seen that anywhere else. Nice job, MCDSP. Okay, let's head on over to the kick as well. So yeah, what do I got? A kick 91 here. Yep, just a gate here. If I take that off, a little bit of bottom snare and a little bit of cymbals. Not a lot. But that gate just works amazing. And we've got a 902 kick mic. Not much. That's just kind of out in front of the kick, I think. And then we've got a sub kick as well. We're combining the 3 mics into one and then treating them all as a group. Now, this is a great way to work with multiple mics and just, get everything kind of working together. Then you treat it. This just speeds up my whole mix process. I do this a lot, and I'm very, very impressed with the results I got with this. This might actually be one of my very favorite kick channel strips ever. Dynamic, again, I think, you know what? I had dynamic and then EQ. Let's see where we're at here on the plots here. Yeah, we've got the gate, which I'm not using on this particular channel, and then compressor and EQ. Let's swap those around. Let's see what we get here. So I think I'm going to go compressor then EQ actually on this one. It seems a little bit brighter sounding and whatnot. And if we take a look at the EQ plot here, let's see what's going on. Got like a little 10K here. A little bit. Where the hell is that? Was it 2 kilohertz? What frequency is that? Yeah, 2K. Wow. Don't normally put that in a kick, but hey, it worked. Pretty heavy duty scoop here, and a little bit of 1K taken out, because that's kind of the boxy sound on a kick right there. Just balancing it out, looks like. Now if I change some of the modes around, we can go to a Neve style EQ. API. Ooh. That's pretty cool right there. Go back here. I like that. That's a little softer, a little rounder sounding, so that's pretty wild. Again, on dynamics here, let's see what we got here. Nothing, it looks like, in terms of compression. Wow, really? Let's take a look at the plots. Yeah, I don't see any compression going on. Let's bring that back a little. I'm going to say this compressor definitely is a little bit more clinical than I'm used to. It's not quite a character compressor. I don't think it's. Of course, you got the different needs though. So I don't know. I don't really think this needs a lot of compression. It's very well solidly played. And I've got some parallel compression going on my close mic. So I'm just going to leave the compressor off on this channel, just use the EQ. So basically, yeah, we're using this as a gate here, and then we've got an EQ here for all 3 channels. And then this gets put into 2 different parallel modes. Everything goes to my close mic's fader, and that's just a little tape saturation from the AC20 analog channel. And this is really cool. I like this a lot. Punch this in and out. Kind of rounds things off just a tiny bit, which is really cool. When we made the transition there from analog to digital, we went from tape to a digital based system. We lost something in the drums there, some of that cohesion and whatnot. And some of the tape saturators can really help just kind of take the edge off the drums a wee bit in a very natural and dynamic way. But I've also got some parallel compression going on here with channel G as well. I was trying with our compressor bank, and this is getting a lot more aggressive. We're at almost a 10-to-1 ratio here. Very hard knee, very fast attack and very fast release. Threshold's pretty low. Yeah. So again, just kind of bringing the sustain up of the drums. If I take a listen to this. That's it right there. That's my close mics. Those are my shell mics, my kick, my snare, my toms, all that crap. Just going to a master fader head there, and then watch what happens when I bring in this with the parallel compression. If you see up here in the top corner, let's see if I can get a close up of this. Can I do this? Because I really want to illustrate this point here. If you look at this, I've got my kick bus here. I've got my close mics are kick bus, and then my snare bus, and then my toms. They all go to this fader, or the folder number 3 here. I use the Reaper folders quite a bit. It works great. And then I've got parallel bus. And what's happening there is I'm using a send. And that's post fader. That means after this, after it's all its tape saturation and all that kind of crap and effects and everything like that, that gets sent to this channel here. And that's my parallel bus. And that just fattens everything right up. Okay, maybe I take back what I said about this being a little bit clinical. No, the way I've got it set up right now, it's pretty aggressive. It's doing the thing, and it's doing it quite well. So again, we pop that back into a mix, and it's just like, that's just snappy as hell. And bring the kick up a little bit here. And again, I've got to go, I showed you guys the rooms. We've got 2 different rooms here. Again, just super aggressive with the compression on the room mics. And that's really where the fun is. Okay, we got a bit of high pass and low pass here. Take that off. Another room mic. Not much EQ going on here, but again, just very aggressive with the compression. That really brings out the body of the drums and just the overall sustain and all that. Really gives it that huge sound. Throw a little verb in there. So yeah, I mean, it's just, this thing's just super versatile. This might be one of my absolute favorite plugins as of late. It's really, really doing the thing quite well. And again, we're just doing a little high pass and low pass. We take that out. So we're doing it quite well there. Take those out of the mix. Drums just kind of fall apart. Cool. All right. What else we've got it going on? We've also got a bunch of MCDSP plugin going on here on the guitar bus. Again, we've just got 4 rhythm tracks going on. And what do we got here? We got the MC 2003 for a little bit of multi-band compression. This kind of does like the C4 thing as well. You can just, zero in on exactly the frequencies you want to target. It's showing you where the crossovers are at. And we're just adding a little bit of compression on the palm mutes here. Works really well. A very, very, very subtle sort of thing here. And what do we got here? Yeah, we got the Channel G console. I'm sure that's just for a little high frequency and low frequency roll off. We look at the EQ here. Yeah, we've got a little bit. Let's check out the plots. And again, I love this plots button. This is great. Just a little high frequency, low frequency roll off just to keep things under control. And then we've got a little ML 4000 for a little bit of limiting just to kind of pop things up and keep all the palm muting and everything under control. Really damn cool. I love how those drums snap. Now, they did ask me to read off a couple things here, so I'm going to do that. And what they've got here is version 7 is only MCDSP's 3rd paid upgrade in 24 years. Their last release, which was V6, came out in March of 2015 and had plenty of free updates in the last 7 years. This is no different. It's going to have lots of free updates as well, but you can tell they put some fucking time and money into creating the new interface. And I got to say, it does look beautiful. And I love the fact that it's resizable. Great job there. It's optimized for Apple Silicon as well as the latest Intel processors. That's great for me. I mean, like, I'm going to Europe with just this, and this is an M1 MacBook Air. And the fact that it's optimized for that, I think is going to be great because the less weight I have to carry on the road for a month, the better as far as I'm concerned. What do we got here? We got 2 activations per license. So that means it'll work on my desktop and my laptop. And they also wanted to mention the real-time analyzers, which is what this plots button here is for. Now, I really love that plots button with the analyzers because we don't have to have it up at all times. I think that's great. Now, I got to mention here, there are several versions of this plugin kind of powered down as well in case you don't want to go through all the bells and whistles. You don't need the plots and whatnot. They've got the compact version here, which has got all your basic controls. You've got your filters, your compressor, limiter, and an EQ right there. It doesn't look like a gate on this one. Plus, there's an exclusive EQ one and an exclusive dynamics one as well. So at $149, like I said, it's not the cheapest VST I've ever come across, but I got to say, damn, the functionality is really second to none. This has got to be one of the best channel strip plugins I've ever come across. I think MCDSP knocked it out of the park with the new interface. But don't take my word for it. Go check it out for yourself. There's a 14-day free demo where you can download it, try it out, and see how it works for your mixing style as well. Personally, I'm in love with the gate. I think it's phenomenal, and I will definitely be reaching for it on more than just this. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Links for everything are in the description below. Go check it out. I think you're going to like what it does. Take it easy.